So going to be replacing the Honeywell AM1 series water scald protector slash mixer. Essentially, I have hot coming from the left, cold coming from the right, and this will allow you to select a temperature based on which setting you have it, and then it will be sent to the house. So we have cold coming in from here and hot coming down from there. And once you remove this sticker, there'll be a screw underneath, and then we will be swapping it out with this AM1 replacement element from Supply House. So let's start with peeling off this sticker. See that there's a screw right there. But before we go further, I'm gonna shut off all of the water and drain it. So let me go do that. And now let me go drain all the taps. Okay, so I've got all the taps drained. I did end up putting a bucket right below to catch any excess water, since there's definitely still going to be some in there, but let's see how much. Okay, remember to keep this because the replacement does not come with any extra caps. It only comes with the spring and the internal workings. We want to loosen the upper nut, do not remove. So let's do that. So just to make sure, this is the upper nut, this is the lower nut. So it wants us to loosen this guy, which will then allow this to be moved. So that's pretty easy. Loosen it up. So we unscrew the lower nut counterclockwise. Let's open this up a little more. Okay, so this one was pretty sticky. I've got it out. Now that I've loosened the inner nut, which is this guy, and then now I've loosened the other nut as well. So just to recap, we've got the upper nut and the lower nut, which is the big one. So I'm taking the whole assembly out. Why you bring a bucket? Here you can see the old assembly. Here is the new one. So, very different color. There should be a spring in there as well. Perfect. So, got the spring out. So for this piece, we actually have a new O-ring for it. So you can see right here, it's pretty well used, and it has a bit of buildup on it as well. So I'm going to go and soak it in vinegar for a little bit and clean it up and put a new O-ring on. So it may be kind of hard to see, but right here, there is a broken fin on the old spring. So I was looking at the difference between the new and the old, and if you count the number of fins, it looks like my old one had a broken one as well. So it's interesting to see how these things flow. Try my best to descale this. Get a new O-ring for this guy. So slide on the new O-ring there, because that will provide the seal here. And let us put back the lower assembly. Actually, it will look like this inside. What we're working with. So let's put it all back together. Okay, do the nut. Gonna push in a little bit. It's providing resistance due to that spring. So get it started. Just perform it. Inner nut. So, quick note from testing this, the further in you go, so if you go clockwise, it'll make it colder, counterclockwise will make it hotter. So I did a little test just to see how hot I want it to be, make sure I like how the tap's going. In order to actually set it up, there is a little groove in here, right there, and essentially you want to line up this little notch with the stop here, and so based on how you set it up and calibrate it, you can sort of pick your own temperature or just put it back the exact way you found it. So I've been messing with the temperature just before, and then I'm gonna screw it in and just leave it as is once I am happy with it. So now I have it screwed back in and labels put back on. Technically you could also punch through the sticker, but my sticker is easy enough to take off that I can just slap it back on. So hope this helped you get accurate hot water temperatures. So something that wasn't on the other instructions is essentially telling you how to do calibration. If you have measurement tools, that would be the easiest, but if not, this might help you. I found the best ways to actually test it by turning it and then going and testing the tap. It takes a little bit longer, but it's nice to have the exact temperature that you like. So some final notes on what I actually used. This was to grab the springs, wrench to undo the nuts, and that's it. I would probably suggest getting a plumber's wrench because it's just a lot easier. The part we removed looks like this. So technically you could decalcify these and you could just buy new O-rings, but this replacement part was only 30 bucks. With all whole assembly was in the hundreds. So and O-rings I think were about $10. So rather than just buy a couple O-rings, I just bought a whole new assembly for the lower part, of course. So this whole part you keep, this part you're replacing, and there are instructions on just descaling it if you have hard water. My area doesn't have hard water, so I knew there was something else at fault, and after finding the broken diffuser, it seemed that that might have been the culprit. So yeah, best of luck with your project.